They came from an auction in New Jersey. It's a pretty horrific scene. At the time, I don't think they were even a year old. They were young babies. They were underweight. They weren't severely neglected, but they were not healthy. Neither of them had any real positive interactions with humans before getting to sanctuary. So a lot of signs of severe abuse. Ruthie still is very, very fearful. Frank is fearless, but not in a good way. But he's very sweet and playful, but he's also like always aware and kind of not on edge, but his guard is up. Even though we don't force them to serve a purpose or entertain or anything like that, we still have to be able to handle them in order to give them the care they need. She wanted to interact, but she was so terrified. So we spent months working with trainers, working with other sanctuaries, because I refuse to do it in a forceful way that is going to re-traumatize her. I would rather have it take 1,000 times longer and be able to have it on her terms than to force her to do something, because all it does is cause more harm and trauma in an already traumatized being. Months in now, like, we needed to provide them routine care and hadn't been able to because we couldn't get a hold of her. And so, like, we had this phenomenal trainer. The trainer came inside and said, hey, here's the deal. It's like, I've been in here for an hour and she won't let me do anything other than touch her forehead. I'm not getting anywhere. We formulated a plan and we went back out there together, and within 10 minutes she was able to walk up to her and put a halter on her. It's like, when that happened, it was a very emotional moment. That aspect of it was very emotional. You know, there was lots of tears shed that day. There was a lot of crying. And as soon as that happened, something shifted. And Ruthie, I think for the first time, realized that we weren't going to hurt her and that we were there for her and to help her. And she started responding to us differently. After that day, it was a completely different scenario. It's still very difficult. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But like, now I can walk up to the fence and Ruthie will walk up and let me hug her around her neck and like let me rub on her and scratch her and brush her, and just, she receives affection that she's wanted, because she wanted affection and attention the whole time. She was just really afraid of how to get it. It's been a really interesting experience getting to know them and see them blossom and see the personalities come out. And that's with all the residents at the sanctuary. The positive side of this is not only that we get to give them this safe place, it's that we get to witness this shift and this change, in that you see someone who showed up here terrified and traumatized and sometimes beaten and sometimes neglected and sometimes never having a positive interaction with a human, all of a sudden turn into this like just beautiful being that they always were but never allowed to be. This is who you always were. This is who you were meant to be, and now you're able to feel safe enough to do that.